Hi guys, welcome to Table Talk. I'm Kessyl.
I'm Carol.
And today, of course, we're going to talk about the Apple launch since it just launched recently. Let's call it the new X line, which one you should be buying? The 10S, the 10S Max, or the 10R, XR? How do you call it?
Yeah, so they're like iPhone XX, XS Max, and XR. Like, I can never really say them correctly because they're just really hard to pronounce.
Right, it's like very similar, like XS, XS. But I thought usually people just go with like 10S, but whatever it is, like you see the two phones I'm holding up right here. No, it's not any of those. This is a 7 Plus and an 8 Plus. But some of you who's watching with us right now, you might be in your 20s, in your 30s, or some of you may like gaming more or photography more. But which one should you be buying that most suits your need? But today we've got it sorted out for you. We're going to talk about the camera, the display, the features, and the value. So let's jump right in because we've got a lot to do.
Yeah, a lot of specs that we can introduce to you. So I think the very first phone that got introduced was the XS. It's got 5.8 inch of OLED display. And that's for XX Max, which is a bigger version of XS. It's 6.5 inch with OLED display. So I think for a lot of us, before we get to the price, OLED is a really
like a better screen, like it's clearer and things like that.
Yeah.
And so like the difference between the 10S and the 10S Max, they have the OLED screen, which is like with 458 ppi pixels per inch. Is that pixels per inch? And with the XR, which is releasing like a month later, it is a LCD screen, which is what I have right here, my 7 Plus.
I think that's also what I have.
Right, 8 Plus, I'm sure it's not the glass one. But it's just like, they say like this difference is that it's 458 ppi and 326 ppi. But they say that the human eye can really see beyond 287 ppi. So it doesn't really matter, you know. But just that, of course, OLED is better than LCD, maybe for like your screens and like views and things like that.
Yeah.
But definitely the glass is, they say, according to Apple, it's better than iPhone 10. Means like it's scratch resistance and it's a stronger glass preventing it from cracking. Like,
yeah, I don't know if you drop your phone a lot or not. I tend not to drop my phone that much, but every once in a while I'll drop my phone.
Right.
And usually we have some sort of like cover or protector, right? Like what I have now is it's like a very simple cover. It doesn't really help protecting your phone that much, but I don't really expect myself to scratch my phone.
Yeah.
But I noticed every once in a while my phone, well, I should say every phone that I had, they always crack. And I always have to get them replaced or I can easily hurt myself. So I think the OLED part, I know is better resolution and all that, but I think for me, the better selling point is that the more sturdy glass so that it doesn't break as easily.
Right. Also because like users of iPhone 10, they said like because of the glass, it gets stretched like really easily, like you can see it really clearly. So it says that according to Apple, like the new release is like the world's most durable glass, according to Apple. So of course they're gonna promote it. But let's talk about the camera. Like I feel like for girls or maybe like Instagram boyfriend, all they care about is the camera. If you don't want to carry out or like a huge, you know, like DSLR or things like that, like heavy, but if you're traveling or you can shoot it on your phone. But the camera, I would say it's pretty impressive because all three of them consist the A12 Bionic chip and the next generation neural engine. Means it's not only that it's going to have a faster Face ID or a greater gaming experience, but it has a smarter camera with a smart HDR and dynamic depth of field. What does that mean? It just simply means that your photo is going to look better when you shoot it in like bad environments or like, for example, like low light when you're at night at dinner or like extreme like bright areas.
Yeah. So I think when I was watching the whole announcement last week, like I was just like basically watching the whole thing and going through the whole thing, and then when it gets to the camera, that's when I kind of woke up. I'm like, oh, so what's the new camera gonna be, right? And then they show some basically to make the explanation understandable for all of us. The smart HDR thing is like a different layers of photos that take for every one photo. So in terms of the depth and the lighting, you can adjust it after you take the photo. So say if we take a photo of like the screen right now, you can focus on me later. And then can
actually we have a picture. We have picture number 3 and 4. Like we can, like what she said, you can adjust the blur in the background after you take the picture. So this is a picture taken by iPhone 10, and you can see in the next picture if we can. Yeah, see. So like it's more blur, it's more focal. Like for example, the main character of this photo, the
dog.
puppy. Yeah. So it's like you can go from f1.4 to like f15. So it's like the higher you go, you get more of the background and.
Yeah, so I think that for me is, I mean, I don't really know camera that well, but I think that for me that serves pretty much all my basic needs. Like if I want to make my photo look a little bit more sleek, I don't really need to have a really hardcore camera to have that look.
Yeah, and also for those who love selfies, they actually added like a selfie stabilization, like an image stabilization. So it's like, so hopefully lesser blurry selfies. Yep. So we were talking about the A12 Bionic chip, and it says that it is 30% faster when you open up your apps, and it's 15% better overall performance. So I think
they actually went on and on about this bionic chip thing. It's for most of us, we don't really understand the technology behind it, but it's a very new top of the line technology that phone companies are competing to put out. So I think also Samsung, actually Huawei, it's like a Chinese phone company. They're also going to include that in their next generations of phones. So after Huawei watched the whole launch of Apple's new iPhone, they actually made a statement saying that, okay, now they feel like they can sit back and relax and then prepare for their presentation next month in October, because they're probably going to have similar setup in their phones. But I guess for those of us who just usually use phones for texting, calling, Instagramming, and photos, we're going to notice a faster speed, but it's not something that's gonna impress you right off the bat. It's not like a really a clear color change of the case. It's not that. It's something that you're probably gonna notice over time, and you're probably gonna get used to the speed of the new chip. But it's for I guess for most of us, we just didn't really understand why they spend so much time explaining this bionic thing.
I see. But I think like for like what you said, like for us who doesn't know like the software of things, it's just like, oh, it's a new phone, yay, new Apple product, and you just get it in your hand, and all we care about is things in the surface. But again, I guess, of course, it's really important, you know, it's what makes up the entire phone.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
So we were talking, so we would like to look into the features as well, the iOS 12. I mean, you can update it on any of your devices right now, like even, I just updated, actually, they released this Monday, and I just updated on my 7 Plus, and it's, of course, a brand new operating system, like, they have features like what we are seeing right now. Screen time means that you can actually impose a time limit on your apps. Like, oh, if I want to spend less than 2 hours on Instagram, like you can set that. So it's like, as in like to discipline yourself.
Oh, right. So like if you want to spend like you said 2 hours only on Instagram, then after 2 hours a day, it's gonna shut down that app.
Yeah, it's like it's gonna show you time limit of day is like which. So or do you want to ignore the limit of day, or you want to ignore it for 15 minutes? But it's a really good thing for parents who wants to control their kids' usage, you know?
Right.
So it's like they can control their kids' devices, and then in a video that I saw, it's like, so the kids can actually like request their parents to like, oh, I want more time, so you can approve or like decline and things like that.
Okay,
so, yeah,
got it.
It's pretty like a parental control thing that.
Other than that, do you feel there are other feature changes? Because I'm actually personally, even though I report on technology, I'm really opposed to updating my phone.
Yes, me too. Every time like a stigma, right?
Right, and no, it's like every time you update, the phone gets slower and slower, right? I feel like very ignorant about it, but that's just the general feels I get, and I don't really know why. It can be they just like the speculation they want to slow your phones down over years, so eventually you want to change a new phone. I don't know if it's true, but I know for a fact that every time I update it gets slower. So you just update it.
Yeah, I think I was just like you. Like I think I'm comfortable with my iOS 10 or iOS 11. I'm good. I don't want new changes like, oh, I can't find my things, I can't locate them, or they are new, it's like, oh, it messes up my system or what I'm comfortable with.
Yeah.
But I just updated because I saw a few good reviews. Like, for example, the screen time is what I want because I want control of usage on my social media platforms. Or like they actually like group your notifications into one group. So for example, you have like 10 group chats on WhatsApp, and you have like 50 notifications when you wake up from like 5 different group chats. So they're gonna group the notifications. Instead of like seeing 50 messages, you can see like 5 categories. So it's not like a lot of noise. So I think that's a really good part on the update that I like. Yeah, and what else? And they have the...
I think they're saying that it's supposed to be faster. Did you feel like it was faster? Or did you feel it was slower?
I don't know. I just feel it's normal. But one of our coworkers, he's using a 6 or 7, and he updated it. He felt it was faster, maybe because his phone is an older version. I don't know. But for 7 Plus, I thought it was the same.
Oh, you know what I noticed? I find my phone, the battery gets eat up faster now.
Okay, so actually I read the report, right? So they said that when they launched iOS 12 on Monday, people were going on Twitter like, oh, I felt like my battery life is going down by 50%. Like, is Apple, like, is this like a... Like
a tactic they have?
To make people update iOS 12, but apparently it's not. It's just like, because this operating system just launched, so it's like, your system is trying to catch up and things like that. So it's not like a con or whatever, but it's just the system trying to improve and things like that. So it got better after like 2 days.
Okay.
Yeah. So since the picture is out, we'll talk about the battery, okay, about the 3 differences, the 10S, the 10S Max, and the XR. So of course, the best one is... Wait,
the bigger one.
The best one is XS Max, right?
Yeah.
Right. But why? Oh, XR is actually the best. I can't see. Sorry, I have to like get up. But it's the internet use is up to 15 hours on XR. So which is the one that is releasing like a month later, and which is the cheaper one.
Yeah.
And for XS Max is up to 13 hours on the internet use, and on XS is up to 12 hours. So again,
between XX and XX Max, I think it's easy, right? The bigger one has bigger batteries.
Basically,
so
2
longer.
of 10S and 10S Max, they are the same phone except that it's bigger. That's it. Like all the features, the camera, they're all the same. Just that 10S Max has a bigger screen. So for people like if you have the budget and you want something bigger and better, of course you go for the 10S Max.
You know what's really, I know this is probably not directly relevant, but the
You have to like take it slow. This is like
XS Max. Someone had a complaint about how big the screen is.
Right.
Like a feminist, she complained that the phone is sexist, the design is sexist because for female it's hard to like scroll up and down with the size of the phone. I don't know. I guess we never really think about it. I guess according to a report, most of the engineer and the designer, they might mostly be male. So they might not take the size into consideration. So she might have a point, but I don't know. Like, what do you think?
I don't know. What I'm using is iPhone 7 Plus, right? And yours is 8 Plus. I'm about to.
They're the same size.
Right. Okay, it's not coming. So it's 5.5 inch and XS Max is 6.5 inch. Because for me, I think I like a bigger screen, of course. But I never put my phone in my pocket anymore because it's a little too huge. But so I just put it in my bag or hold it in my hands. But why is the 10S Max better? Because it's bigger than this, like 6.5, this 5.5, I can see on my phone. And our screen, it doesn't take up the entire space. But for 10S Max, it's bigger and it takes up the entire space. So the screen is like better. So if you're a gamer or like you love watching videos and with the speaker that's louder right now, it's like an immersive experience, you know?
Yeah, I guess, also,
I mean, it's comfortable, like, when I first had it I changed from a 6 to a 7 Plus, so it's a huge difference. It's like tiny one. And I was like, oh, it's too big. But after a long time, you just get used to it. Yeah.
I would have to admit, I have a A plus, I have an A plus now, and sometimes I still want to type with one hand, like when you are holding onto the rail in the subway and you want to type, you want to do that. Because you never know when you're gonna fall, and it does get hard. And sometimes you do need to put things on your wrist so that you can do it two hands. I do find that a little annoying.
Right.
So preferably you can get a little smaller, but I don't know. It's like, how do you choose?
Yeah.
But right now, I don't know. I don't know if I'll go to the.
Just go for the best. If you don't have, then go for like XR, which we'll talk about the price later. But I like to mention the Memoji. I think it's really cute. As you can see in picture number 5, it's the digital animated version of yourself. So in A+,
really
because
cute.
A+ is not Face ID.
No, it's not.
Face ID.
Yeah.
So it's only applicable on all iPhones with Face ID, which include the 10. So it's not just this 3 generation, but it's super awesome. I feel like it's a little unnecessary, but again, it's like,
the Animoji, I think it's good enough for me. It's pretty funny. But why not? If you have the budget, go for it.
Yeah. But tell me about the dual SIM,
So the dual SIM card, it applies to the new iPhones, but it's only like true dual SIM for the phones that's released in China, because eSIM is not it's not available in China. Okay. So if you're in the States, yes, you have 2 SIM cards, but one is eSIM, like an eSIM card, and in China you have like the true dual SIM card.
I see. Well, that's a smart marketing, huh?
Yeah. So you have like, if you want a true one, then you go to China and get it.
Yeah, so we're gonna talk about the color for the 10s and the 10s Max. It comes in 3 colors. The same one, the gold, the silver, and space gray. And we can see in the picture, this is the XR. It comes in 6 colors, including red, which is not featured here. But it's gonna be only released a month later. So we're gonna look at the pricing, which is all we care about, seriously, in this day and age.
Yeah.
But the 10s Max, I would say, is the most expensive Apple product in the market right now.
Right.
So can we pull up the picture of the pricing?
Or
we got it. Okay. So as you can see, the XR, it's fairly cheap compared to the 10s and the 10x Max.
Right.
But I think Apple, it's like they took a little in this time. They released what's more expensive first, and then the cheaper one later. But I don't know, like what do you think?
Of the pricing and my desire to purchase such an expensive item.
Yep.
I think honestly, anything that goes beyond 1,000, I think for me that's expensive. So I would probably go. I think I'll probably go for an iPhone. Either iPhone XS Max, the lowest
64
gigabyte, or a 256. I don't know. Actually, no. I'm probably just gonna go with iPhone XS. Yeah, keep it under 1,000. I feel like anything that goes over 1,000, I can't really reason that with myself.
But I feel like every time Apple launches its products, right, it's like, oh, you have to get the best one, you have to get the most expensive one, and then it's just like, but this time I feel like with what we compared, like these 3 products, like even though XR is the cheapest one, but it seems like the things are almost the same. Like we say, like the human eyes, right, according to science, like you can't see beyond 287 ppi. So it's like, why not just go with the XR, and it has all this like emojis, like cameras and portraits and things like that. So, but of course, if you have a big budget, you go for the X.
Well,
Max.
like right now, 7 and 8, the price dropped drastically.
Wow.
So I got my A, I think, around the $1,000 mark, a little lower than. But now, if you want to buy 7 or 8, you can get them for as low as around 500. So, and it's not that long ago they released 7 and 8. Like they released, I would say like 10 and 7 and 8 just a little bit over a year ago. Especially 10, which has been discontinued. They're all pretty recent products. So I think the difference between the line of Apple products, iPhone for the past year, there's a jump, but for me personally, I don't think I'm that savvy in terms of noticing the differences between the speed or the resolution.
Yeah.
So I would just go with an older model and keep it under 1,000.
Right. I'll just stay with my iPhone 7 Plus.
Yeah.
But let us know what you think. Like, if you are going to buy it, like, which would you pick? Or if you got yours on hand already, like, tell us by leaving your comments below, like, how is it like your new phone and things like that.
Yeah, let us know. I mean, some of the audience already let me know that I would say 70% of them don't think it's worth it to spend over 1,000.
Yeah.
But you also have the very die-hard Apple fans.
Yeah.
And they're pretty adamant about getting the newest, and most updated iPhone. They believe it's a big improvement. It's a big difference, and I would just have to agree to disagree.
Yeah, so that's all the time we have for today.
For today.
I'm Kessyl. You can catch me on my Twitter at HeyKessyl.
And I'm Carol at SummerC4 on
She
Twitter.
always have to rethink her Twitter, like after like,
Yeah,
wait, this are
what's
like
my
13
Twitter?
episodes, like what's my Twitter? But have a great weekend. Tomorrow's Friday, so we'll see you next week.
Bye.